below Stratford-on-Avon, in a secret location on Henley Street, is a treasure trove of Shakespearean proportions. It's really old. It's a bit wonky, isn't it? Like I suppose they didn't have rulers, did they?
This baptism record is for William, the son of John Shakespeare.
This is a bit like Who Do You Think You Are, isn't it?
It is in a way, yeah. These, you know, if you're tracing your family history, these are the records that will give you the information you need.
He'd sort of call it, Who doth thou thinkest thou art?
He might, yeah.
And he'd go like that.
He may well have done, yeah.
Flourish. I've been studying Shakespeare ever since I was asked to do this programme, and it turns out he's more than just a bald man who could write with feathers. Richard III is actually based on the real King Richard III, who was in the Wars of the Roses.
A horse! A horse, my kingdom, for a horse!
At the end, he loses his horse and ends up wandering around a car park looking for it, where he eventually dies. Because in those days, you couldn't find your horse just by beeping your keys and making its arse light up. It's quite moving and human, because we've all worried we might die in a car park if we, lose the ticket and can't get the barrier up, and just die in there. Shakespeare makes you think about those things, and that's hard. But why do we still talk about Shakespeare? We don't talk about Les Dennis anymore, even though he's still alive and hasn't done anything wrong. Did Shakespeare write nothing but boring gibberish with no relevance to our modern world of Tinder and peri-peri fries? Or does it just look, sound and feel that way? That's what I'm going on a journey to find out about. Along the way, I'll probe Shakespeare's life, study his complete works, and speak to Shakespearean experts and actors. Do you just learn the famous bits, like to be or not to be? Or do you learn all the bits in between as well?
I have to learn all the bits in between.
Are you fucking joking?
No. It's big, but it takes a bit of time.
Shut up. In 1596, Shakespeare's son Hamnet shuffled off this mortal coil. Then he died, and a few years later, his father John kicked the bucket and also died. To tell me more about Shakespeare's disgusted audiences, I spoke to this man. Who are you and what's your game?
I'm Iqbal Khan and I'm a theatre director.
What was theatre like in Shakespeare's day? Were all the audiences really rowdy then, you know? Did they wear tunics and have mud on their faces?
The audiences ranged from the ordinary common working people who'd stand around the theatre here, and then they would range to the aristocrats who would sit at the top of the theatre.
Right, so some of them had to stand up, they didn't have chairs?
No, they'd be standing.
I've never had to stand for a whole Shakespeare. I don't think I could do it. I'd be livid if I didn't have a chair.
I think the audiences quite enjoy it. I mean, particularly now.
I don't think they do enjoy standing, do they?
They actually enjoy the experience of standing.
Who's told you that? This is the actual school he probably went to. School in Shakespeare's day and age was vastly different to our own. In fact, it was far easier because he didn't have to study Shakespeare. We don't know much about how love and romance worked in olden times because back then people didn't write blogs about their dating misadventures. But thanks to Shakespeare, what we do have is Romeo and Juliet, easily the finest romance of the pre-Dirty Dancing era. Romeo and Juliet is about these two rich, powerful families who hate each other. These two families are the Montagues, who sound quite posh, and the Capulets, who invented the headache tablet. They're perfectly happy having their feud until the touching moment Romeo, from one side, spots Juliet from the other. It's love at first sight, but from a distance, just like on Tinder. When Queen Elizabeth died, James I took over. He was Scottish and dead into witches, which Shakespeare put straight into Macbeth, like an arse kisser. It's about a man called Macbeth who's so famous he's only got one name, like Brangelina.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth.
Macbeth also has a female sidekick called Lady Macbeth, who is very much the Ms. Pac-Man to Macbeth's Pac-Man. In a spooky encounter, Macbeth meets some witches who tell him he's going to become King of Scotland, which back then was apparently considered a good thing. The witches aren't in it as much as you'd expect. Quite a lot of it's about ordinary murder.
This is a sorry sight.
It seems a shame to introduce witches in it and then make all the murders normal with just knives and swords. Maybe if Shakespeare had thought a bit harder, he'd have put some magic murders in, like a big magic hand coming out of a toilet and pulling someone's arse inside out. Nevertheless, there's plenty of violence and bloodshed, and an iconic scene in which Macbeth is startled at dinner by the unexpected appearance of Banquo's ghost, played here for some reason by the letter H.
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy Goldilocks at me.
Shakespeare made up words, didn't he? He did that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He made up so many words.
He made up about 1,000 words that we still use today.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've got a list of words
Okay.
that he might or might not have made up.
Okay.
And you tell me if Shakespeare made them up or not.
Okay.
Cuckoo.
No, I don't think so.
Ukulele.
No.
Truffle balling.
No.
Ceefax.
No.
Omnishambles.
No.
Nutribullet.
No.
Mixtape.
No.
Spork.
No.
Rufflecopter.
No.
Bumberclart.
No.
Zhuzh.
No.
Potatoey.
No.
Bromance.
No.
Sushi.
No.
Titwank.
No.
Hobnob.
Yes.
Suppose it makes sense that he came up with hobnob, doesn't it? Because it's the sort of the most old-fashioned of biscuits. It's got like bits of hay in it and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like eating a thatched roof. Shakespeare actually invented 7 different genres of play: tragedy, fantasy, romance, comedy, horror, and historical. And Shakespearean. If you've never seen Shakespeare at the Globe, imagine a 3-hour YouTube clip happening outdoors, a long way from you, in a language you barely understand. And if I find it confusing, it must have blown the minds off some of Shakespeare's first audiences, who were only slightly more sophisticated than trees. He died on his birthday, which must have been depressing for his family, who would have had to finish his cake with tears in their little Shakespearean eyes. Most people have heard of Hamlet, even if they haven't seen it, because it sounds quite boring. So what's it about? Well, I have seen it, and it's about 4 hours long. What sort of people come to see Shakespeare today? Is it mainly people who wear glasses?
Yeah, I'm sure there are a few people that wear glasses that come to see it. Yeah, I think all kinds of people come to see it.
But a lot of short-sighted people.
Possibly. Not a lot, though.
Yeah, loads, loads. I was looking around. About 80% of the audience are wearing glasses.
I doubt that.
You saying I'm a liar?
No, I just said I doubt that 80% of the audience were wearing glasses.
I think they were.
Right.
Maybe you need like a big bifocal lens in front of the stage. Leave your glasses at home, come to the theatre.
What about those people that aren't short-sighted?
Oh yeah, it'd be different. You need different lenses, don't you? It's hard to believe today, but back then, people really did go to the theatre on purpose. And they went to see something called plays. In plays, things happen in front of you, but at actual size, unlike television, which is smaller, or cinema, which is bigger. You'd think that would make plays the most realistic form of entertainment in existence, but instead, they're nothing like real life at all. And that's because everyone shouts.
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue.
Not proper shouting, like when a bus won't let you on, or shouting because of an emotion. In plays, people shout no matter how they're feeling, because they put the seats too far away. The way Shakespeare's written makes it hard to wrap your head around, which is why it's taught in school when your brain's at its bendiest, by people like this man, the fictional English teacher from TV drama Educating Yorkshire. When you teach your kids Shakespeare, do their heads grow physically bigger?
No, they don't, no.
How does iambic pentameter work?
I think you're talking about iambic pentameter, which is the way that kind of...
Iambic pentameter?
Pentameter, yeah.
Pentameter?
Well, pentameter, so... It would be a line of prose that would have 10 syllables with 5 particular stresses on.
Not pentameter?
No, not pentameter, no, it's pentameter.
Right. Someone told me I was misinformed, it's fine.
Who told you? Oh, right. No, it's pentameter, yeah. Iambic pentameter, just to clarify.
I wonder if all of Shakespeare's plays are suitable for kids, because there's that one about the dairymaid, isn't there, with a special pump?
I'm not aware that that's a Shakespeare play.
She works on a farm. She's got a special pump.
No, I don't think that's a Shakespeare play at all. No, it doesn't sound very much like a Shakespeare play at all.
It's disgusting.